Rory wins, and we got some swoosh spotlights. We're back, baby. Let's do it. Welcome back to the Swoosh Life Podcast, episode 71. And I have no idea what this season is already. I've lost it. But we are back after a little vacation, after our post-Augusta, I'm not even going to call it a hangover because it definitely wasn't. But you know what I mean? Like, we had to take a little bit of a break after all the craziness that
Good
was.
exhale.
Yeah, and we were back. So, guys, how are we doing?
Episode 71, Season 4, Gumby.
Yeah,
season 4.
Did I say Season 3? Yeah,
No. You said you didn't even know what season it was.
Oh, I said I didn't know what episode in the season we are.
Gotcha.
I know we're Season 4. I think we're like, this might be 10.
Yeah. Well, it's
Maybe
golf
10.
season. It's
Maybe
golf
11.
season. That's all that matters. It's golf season.
It is golf season.
It's vacation. It's golf season. Episode 71. My favorite number backwards, 17. It's going to be a good one.
I like it. Yeah, listening on May 1st for people. May is truly now no more excuses. Golf is here. So, don't you think, Matt? No?
I don't think I'm ready. We had that little burst here in the Midwest. Like February gave us like this fake week of warmness, and you're like, yes, I'm gonna get to play. And I just had my first weekend of 2 days off for the first time in a month. So I'm just like, wait, golf? Like I'm just like happy to be like think of 48 hours off consecutively.
Yeah.
So dude, I'm excited because golf is around the corner. So like I'm kind of like I got the bag set. I got the new Endless Pursuit bag all set up, as you guys saw on the Instagram.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And I think the shoes are set for the year, to be honest with you. I'm like, between Jordan 9 and Next Percent, I don't know what else I need. Honestly, but then I tried the Pegasus. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But dark horse.
Yeah. I'm coming back from vacation. I went down to Myrtle. I did not get to, unfortunately, play True Blue like I thought I would, which is a slight bummer, but things happen. No big deal. I did get to a driving range, though, and that felt great. I've been kind of like itching for that. Like, you know how like you've played, like Keith and I played when we were down in Georgia, but like you not feel like you're not syncing some stuff up. Like you're just like I'm off and I can't fix it on the course. I just got to play. So you're just trying to piece something together. I love that I got to go to the range, hit through my bag in the warmth, and like truly like sync some stuff up. And I feel okay about my game, and I'm ready to go like attack it now. League starts Wednesday, so today when you're listening, I think what I want to do for League, and you guys will probably be a day behind on this, but I'm going to put it out to our viewers, listeners, an A versus B every Tuesday night on what Gumby's wearing for League the next day. So A versus B, it's going to be two options that I like so that no one screws me. And I'll throw in the shoes too. Shoes have to be weather dependent though. So if I have shitty shoes, you know it's going to be bad in Syracuse that day. So just FYI. But let viewers choose, our listeners choose on what I'm wearing, because I don't think you guys are in a league, right? No one else is in a league.
No.
So why not?
To.
You know?
Me too.
Why not?
Me too.
So, my schedule's so bad. I just can't commit. But you know what? I got a funny story about naming and voting and setting stuff up. In grad school, in one of my marketing classes, we had a fella come in, and he had made his career out of starting minor league baseball teams.
Nice.
And he had started quite like 4 or 5, right? Like he'll just start them, run them for 4 or 5 years, and then sell them off. And we had a thing about what city do you want to go to, and we picked a couple cities. And then we went through the names that we picked. And I thought I picked out some badass names. Like I wanted one in Madison, Wisconsin, and one in Centennial, Colorado. And I came up with these awesome names. And he's like, I'm going to give you a trick too to the naming thing. You always ask the fans to quote unquote pick the name, but you give them 4 choices, and one of the choices you're going to pick no matter what. So it doesn't matter, because you got to get all the material, you got to get all the uniforms and everything. Like it's never like a true vote. So
right, it's not voting.
Political jokes to yourself.
Out in the UK, have you guys ever heard that story? That they named in the UK they named a boat like a sea ship from the Navy, or whatever, and the name that won was a write-in vote and everything, and it was Bodie McBoatface. And so, yeah, I don't think they did that anymore. So we won't have Bodie McBoatface from my point of view, but we will put it out to the listeners on what I'm wearing for
Gumby McGumpface.
Why not?
Gumby, we need the quick live too before the round with the outfit too. That'd be cool.
Oh yeah. I used to do that.
From the back of the tailgate.
Yeah,
that's what
everybody.
Doing.
There was a long time where every Wednesday night I would do Instagram stories of league night, and it was entertaining for a while, and I think people enjoyed it. And then I kind of it was COVID, and I felt weird posting that I was golfing and enjoying myself while people were struggling, and so I felt like I just stopped, and then it's been hard to pick it back up. That was when I was doing the snack trips and stuff like that too. My Instagram used to be popping. I thought I was somebody and not nobody, but so yeah, maybe we'll do that. We'll do at least a show off of it, what was decided.
Yeah. Well, you're somebody to us, and I have a question for you, sir, because I kind of watched your stories while you were on vacation, and I got to tell you, I am so intrigued by PopStroke. You got to give us, before we get to Rory and our outlet finds, you got to tell me, what's the PopStroke experience? And, don't spare the details. One thing, is it turf or grass, and you bring your own putter? What's the deal?
I will give you everything right now, right here. So, PopStroke is a venture by our favorite non-Nike athlete now. And TaylorMade golf, and it is the new age of mini golf putt. I believe it capitalizes on the social aspect that a Topgolf will bring to a younger generation, to the social golfer or just person that wants to be out with their friends, having a drink and enjoying. And so I think it is one of the coolest experiences. Me and my wife got to go on a little day date without the little one. And man, it was really cool. We walk in, and I'll give you the lay of land. Myrtle Beach just opened up their PopStroke in March, so it is fairly new. We went on a Friday afternoon around noon, and the place was packed. We had a line on the tee for both courses. So they only do day passes. So you pay $30 for the day.
Wow.
Which means you can go back and you can play it as many times as you want, which I think is phenomenal. We could have gone back later that night and played again, because we pay for a day pass. They also have you get a commemorative ball. So they have a PopStroke TaylorMade ball in different colors. So it is a plain regular ball. And if I can step away here for a second, I can show it to you guys. And it's pretty cool. Stepping back.
The pod people. The pod people have been leaving us. So
it is just a Distance Plus ball, and if you guys are watching on YouTube, you can see that there's a PopStroke logo on it, and then the TaylorMade logo as well. And so, yeah, different colors. We got green and a black one, and then just a regular blade, putter is the standard putter for free. You can bring your own putter. And it encourage. However, there is an upgrade package as well, where you can get the that TaylorMade has the 3-striped. I'm not going to call it a triple track because that's Callaway, but the 3-striped ball. You know what I mean? And then they have their spider putters, so you can upgrade to use a spider putter on the course and one of these balls, and you get to keep the ball as well. So the coolest thing is that you get to keep the ball, which you don't normally do at a mini golf. So we step out there onto the turf. It is turf artificial. There is pretty like there's 3 different variations of it. There is just a regular putting surface. There is the rough, and then there are sand bunkers that are turf. They're just white turf. But they are different like lengths on everything. And so like you would hit onto these mounds behind the hole, and it would be like just like a 3-inch swath of rough, and the ball would go up the mound and get stuck in the rough. Like you would think like if you hit it hard enough, it would come back in. And then greens were lightning fast, like truly very fast. And it was just really, really cool. There is an app as well to PopStroke, and I think this might be one of the coolest things. I know there's an app for Top Golf, and you can book everything. You can book it on PopStroke as well, but then they had a virtual scorecard on here. You can pick what course you're on, black or blue. You can add your players. So I added myself and my wife, and then you can hit create group. And I saw like a couple bachelor parties there with like 8 guys and all on one group. And then you keep your score on this or a regular scorecard. But if you keep it in the app, there are 4 to 5 large TV screen / leaderboards around the course. And so then you are on the leaderboard against everybody there on what your score is. I took a picture because at
you
one
get
point
some scramble scorecards on there, bunch of ones.
So at one point in time, I was leading everybody, but it was because I made a par. Because I made a par on the first hole. Yeah, but it's still really like cool. It's like such a.
Did you bring your method?
I didn't, because we just kind of like got out there. I wanted to, but yeah.
And you would have been on the leaderboard the whole time, all 18 holes, if you brought the method.
I know. I will zoom in, and then you can see me right there if you're watching on YouTube. Ryan Henry at the top, +1. My wife +2.
You guys are bold, putting your first and last name out in public. Like
everybody
that.
was. Everybody
what
was.
What kind of sicko just puts his first and last name out there?
I know. So I think it. Cool part, order drinks right to your hole. Now, we were backed up on a couple holes. There was like one guy running all the drinks. I don't think they expect to be that crazy on a Friday afternoon. But we ordered a drink on the first hole. They had some golf-specific cocktails. I think we got a weather delay, it was called. Delicious, delicious drink. On the first hole, they have stands and cup holders on every hole for you so you can putt. They probably need something at the end of the course, like when you're putting out, to put your stuff on. But they had benches pretty much on every hole, so you could sit and hang out. And the undulation, the design of the course, it's so fun. They're so hard, but there was a lot of fun to play it, to hit it. It's not like you're going through windmills. It looks like an actual course, like open green rolling hills. It was awesome. A lot of people buying drinks right in the app. Tell them what hole you're on. They find you. We played the family friendly one first as a warm up. Then we played the harder one, the blue course, after we had lunch. And at lunch, again, you can order everything right in the app and sit like pretty much anywhere. They'll find you. I had the ahi tuna nachos. My wife had a club sandwich. Phenomenal food. I think Tiger always does food really great, right? Like he does stuff at the Woods in Jupiter and everything like that. So he's a big food guy. It was top notch. Again, went back out on the course, played it again. It was tough because there were so many people there. Like we got there at around 12:15. We left at 4:00 playing two holes. The back of my neck was burnt. There's not much shade. However, there are fans on every hole, pretty much like everywhere, with misters. So like in hot areas, you can get that nice mist. They weren't pumping it out yet. And then it is set up for like night, right? Like, so there are lights, and then we actually saw it that in the bottom of each cup, there are lights that shine up and they change color as well. So you can see where the cup is. So they had a playground for kids. They had 4 sets of cornhole boards put out. They had 2 ping pong tables. They had foosball. Like, it is the new America's Playground for mini golf. And I told my wife too, I was like, this is just high class to like how you want to be treated when you're going to pay this much money for something, all this stuff. They had, I think, 2 to 3 guys on the course that were just going around and picking up like a little bit of trash, a little bit if there was pine straw like out like onto the course, if there was something else, like always cleaning the course. And I just think that is like, that's when you just are paying attention to every detail possible, down from design to experience to how you feel there. And I have become a PopStroke stan now. So that is my breakdown. I think that is a pretty good
I love it. I love it.
Great one.
PopStroke. And they just opened one in Vegas. I know they have a ton throughout Florida and I believe Texas now. And so they're getting there. I don't know if we'll ever get one really in like the Northeast. They feel more of like a Southern thing, kind of like Buc-ee's. I did get to a Buc-ee's finally. And finally again. I went last year, yeah, I think it is just like really cool. Anytime there is one in the area that I will be in, I will be at it more than I will be at Topgolf now, to be quite honest.
Ooh.
And I like Topgolf, but I think this has surpassed it. Like
I wonder if they have plans to dome this, because it seems like you could just do a low dome, like you don't even like you're not full swinging anything, right? So yeah, no. It sounds cool because like I love putting, like me, and I think that's the one great thing about golf is like everybody can putt, right? Like not everybody can drive the ball 300 yards, but or like I go to Topgolf and I just go for the net, right? Like that's all I do, right?
We had the demographic there was everyone from like 2 young professional women in front of us to 3 older retirees behind us to then a group of 7 people visiting their friends in Myrtle Beach, like older retirees, to then 3 like couples like early like high school like behind us, plus bachelor parties and groups that like were down there on a buddies trip, or anything like that, and then taking it and going and playing there, all with their putters, all looking like they just got off the course, like it's, and then kids, right? Like kids loved it as well. Like there was little ones, whatnot. We decided not to bring the little one. She did 2 other courses with us down there, mini golf courses, and she just wanted to pick up and run the ball around, and as she should as a toddler. But I wanted to kind of enjoy this a little bit if we're going to pay a little bit more money for it. And so it was nice of my sister to like watch her that afternoon, and for Lynn and I to go out and have a nice day date. And man, it's really fun when you can get like just goof around on a golf course or on a putt course and reconnect and all that stuff. But we had a blast, like really did. And PopStroke reposted one of my photos. I got real creative with it. I had the drinks out there, the 2 golf balls, took a nice perfect photo down the chute. And so can't go wrong with that.
All right, tell them to sponsor the pod. There we go. Okay,
PopStroke.
Yeah. So I want to
PopStroke.
I want to stay on your trip though, and we're gonna go into outlet finds because you did have an outlet find while you were there. So yeah,
sure
keep it rolling.
I might want to stop talking. I'm gonna stop talking after this, but let
it roll, baby. I talk all the time. So you're good.
I never find anything at these outlets. Like my wife will go and find a pair of shoes every single time. My sister found a pair of shoes, and like I didn't find much, right? Like didn't find much. I did pick up a new pair of sunglasses. That is always some aviators. And then you start kind of, moving to the back, the clearance rack, all that stuff. There's 30% off back there. And there's a pair of 14s, which I have become. and they are green and they are white. and they are beautiful. And so I picked up the TW13 Masters editions this year, and these bad boys just can't go wrong. I don't think, not for a price,
So the TW13 Masters Edition was at the outlet, and I went to the outlet and I saw a bunch of these in like 9s and 10s.
Yep.
So I feel like with Sunday Red launching officially on May 1st, I don't know if the time has come where they need to get like rid of these. I don't know what the situation is. But for those of you, go take a look at your local outlets, because Gumby found the TW13s. I saw a lot of them at mine in smaller sizes. I was also able to find the Pegasus Endless Pursuit, the Masters Edition, or the Augusta Inspired Edition, I think it is, because there's no green, yellow, red, or white. So and I'll tell you, I walked in the Pegasus on Saturday. Pegasus might be more comfortable than Air Max 1s.
Wow.
And they're really plush on the inside. The upper is very plush. It's got the Zoom Air unit in the heel, which it doesn't necessarily feel like Zoom Air, but it makes for a very nice ride. So I haven't played in them yet. Can't wait to play in them. But man, the Pegasus kind of changed my mind a little bit. Now, granted, you get it off the hash wall, 30% off, and you're like, oh, okay, like this is a great price. This is a great shoe. So I do want to caveat that. Like, I think on sale, I'm super happy with that shoe. Now it makes me want to get the white and green ones, because those white and green ones probably going to be the same plush ride. I still think Air Max 1's a better looking shoe from the outside, so don't get me wrong. I'm still like, I'd rather do the Air Max 1 because it looks better. But yeah, the ride's pretty darn good on the Pegasus. How about you, Keith? Any finds recently?
Oh, what a way to go. I went to my recent trip down to Clinton Outlets in Connecticut, and it's usually nothing there. And I went last week, and there was nothing there as well. It was there was a golf rack and everything, but it was all Victory Line stuff, kind of your solid whites, blacks, blues, polos, Victory Line pants as well. I always search the clearance rack. If anything pops up there as well, I go flock right to that first, and then I make my way back to the 30%. Actually, down in my outlet, it was 40% off the back wall. Yep.
Yeah, Matt, you grabbed something for me, right? I believe, and it was 40.
Yep, you're getting next percents, buddy. Yeah, there you go.
I mean,
now everybody, all three of us have next percent.
Fire right now. So,
well, mine did not have any of that. I'm hoping that the containers are coming up shortly over the next month of golf stuff or golf shoes on the back rack there, because that would be amazing. I love always going hunting down there. But Gumby, I did get a new pair of sunglasses, because what happened in Augusta, I lost my sunglasses down in Augusta.
No idea where
sunglasses, and I was not happy about pissed. That at all.
Yeah. That whole ride back,
I don't lose anything. I lost two things, and we're not going to mention the other thing. So,
do you have an idea of where? Like, it was in an Azalea House would have sent it to you.
No, we think maybe the pizza shop.
I think I left them on the dinner table.
Security guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got security.
Well, we went back. Gumby and I went back the next day before we went to go see you, Matt, and they didn't have them. We're like, crap, I think I left them on the dinner table. But there's pizzas flying everywhere. Who knows where they went?
I know there was a lot of stuff flying that night.
So out of the three of us, we went 2 for 3 on the outlet finds. So perfect. Yeah. We'll take those odds.
I did notice not a lot of, like, it's still all 23 apparel floating around. Like, I haven't seen anything new from this year at the outlets yet. So maybe after these May 1 drops, we'll start seeing some stuff.
I did try to go. I went to a PGA Superstore down there, and because they have 2 in Myrtle, and I was looking for the purplish. Last year was like the pool thing. Now it's more like the tie-dye. I'm gonna call it like the Brooks. Brooks is kind of wearing that white one.
The ombre.
Yeah, the ombre with like the, and was really like down to get the purple one, and then of course it didn't have my size. And I like could have gone to North Myrtle and gone to that one and like looked, but it was just like, it's too. It's just
you're on vacation. Like it's like a 50-50, right? It's like either a chore or like is it worth my few downtimes and stuff like that.
I will say, like, my wife helped pick these up for me. She knew that these like are my favorite shoe, like the TW13, and she goes, "Will you be able to get these again?" And I said, no. She goes, then go get them.
Yeah, legitimately no.
Like you just like, I think it was one of those things where like I wasn't gonna get them because the price and $250 was a lot for this shoe. And then I saw Keith wear them when we played in Georgia, and I was wearing the TW14 Masters Edition from back in the day, which is pretty cool. And I took a picture side by side, and I was like, man, I don't know. Like,
it's that green. It's that extra
so
green on the
hard
13.
to, like,
the green sole has kind of sold me on the
Yeah.
Masters one.
it was
And the
one of
green
those things where it's
bottom
like,
as well.
I was starting to have a little bit of FOMO, and then, you know, bag secured now, which is pretty cool. So,
Well, it's hard to say no when you find it at the outlet at a discount, right?
Exactly. And that's kind of where it was at. Obviously, also discounted on the sunglasses because they were the last ones. So when you pull them off the rack, you get a little bit of discount on that
nice.
as well.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And so, yeah, I feel pretty good about that. That was cool. But I don't hit on the outlets like ever. It feels like now, you know, and I don't know if a lot of people know this or not, but you can see what's at your outlets on the Nike app a little bit too. If you go to the Nike app, you can turn on the outlets or store nearby
when you're
find
near the store.
search one. Yeah. I think I was even looking. I was like putting in a location that I was going to. Right, I went to Hagerstown, Maryland. There was a couple of close time where we stayed, and just seeing if it was worth to like go out, pop into one. A lot of the same stuff, but the funny thing is that my outlet in Syracuse area has that purple ombre shirt at it, which is so funny. And so I gotta like Memorial Day, I gotta hope that they run the sale 30%, whatever, pop out there, grab it. Hopefully it's still there, you know, something like that. Gotta time it right, you know. So let us know what you guys find at the outlets. Like, what are you always looking for? Are you going there like we do?
Gotta tag us in those finds in the story.
Approach the outlets? Do you look on the Nike app? Do you go often? Do you go once? Like, what is your thing? Because for us, we're big Nike heads, but I don't know how much we pay full price for Nike a lot, you know. So
that's
and
a rule.
I think that's kind of how you have to do it if you're going to be a big Nike head too,
right?
You know? So
definitely a rule. Don't definitely have to do that. Definitely send us your outlet finds and everything like that. That's one thing I've always like looked at, like on Instagram and stuff. People would hashtag like Nike golf, and then it'd be like in a chronological order, like most recent stuff, and you would find like, oh, this shoe's at like Burlington, or this at the outlet on a discounted price. So that's the way I do my searching. But 2 for 3, I think we'll take that on the outlet finds.
Oh man, 2 for 3. Speaking of twos, how about Rory and Shane Lowry? Does this even matter? Does this even matter? Like,
I mean, post game, Rory felt like he was having some fun and freewheeling it and all that stuff. And he partners well with Shane. They've partnered well in the Ryder Cup together, all that stuff. I had a thought the other day, and I'm going to let you guys finish before I tell this thought. But I think it's fun. I think it's a great little format. But it's two superstars that should probably win this compared to who they were up against, you know? Like, so Keith, what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, it's definitely a little bit blown more out of proportion. Yes, they won. They got the W and everything like that. But like, don't you think like in the back of Rory's mind, he's like, yes, I won, but like, shit, you know, it's not a major. Like, it's not. Kind of thing. And I'm playing, maybe he felt that rush playing with a teammate, so it kind of like get prepared, you know, for next year's Ryder Cup or anything. So I'm sure he's like, they're in that mindset. But coming from someone that didn't really watch too many shots over the weekend of that, it's just it's another weekend of the PGA trying to do something good with the team event, which is fine. I like. Like I said, it wasn't a star-studded field either. So there's probably some viewerships there that didn't, you know, including myself, that didn't watch, you know, all 4 days or even a little bit here Sunday. I popped it on a little bit because I saw that he was up in the lead. But you know what? We'll take the win. A swoosh win is a swoosh win. We'll take it, and it just puts our stuff at the top of the world with Rory still wearing it. And like I said, it's another W.
Yeah, Matt, your thoughts on it?
You're
a Rory guy, so I gotta know.
When I see him singing "Don't Stop Believin'," you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
You know what? Good for him, man.
Good
Have
for
some
him,
fun.
yes.
Like, you haven't had fun golfing probably in 2 years. So I don't know. I don't think it sparks anything, maybe. And we all pictured what the jokes and comments were, like, "Oh, I got to have Lowry to carry you to a green jacket," blah blah blah, and all that stuff. So again, like, the guy can't win right now. The guy can't win even when he wins. So I'm happy for him. I think it's cool. I wanted to see Brendan Steele. Like, he won in Adelaide in his debut for Phil Mickelson's High Flyers, but I don't think he had Nike shoes on. So I just keep an eye out, like, for which live guys have Nike on. So you're right. Swoosh win is a swoosh win.
Yeah.
And the format thing, look, I like it. I think, hey, they had struggles with people watching that stuff. Like, you would get Brooks and Chase on there. You would get Dustin Johnson there with his brother every once in a while. And those guys are gone.
Like Fitzpatrick now, right? Like, he's playing with Alex, so.
Yeah, it makes it interesting to see. So, right. Yeah. Last thought on Rory, though, like, good for him, man. Good for him. Get another win. And especially since you're the guy who said, hey, you know what? We need more stars at these lower attended events. And here we go. Star power, right? Like, gets a W.
Yeah. 25 wins for Rory on PGA Tour as well now. And not to be lost in this news a little bit of this week, but rejoining the PGA Advisory Board as well after leaving it for a couple of months. So, almost I don't know. Just
he's going to get his equity stake. I mean, should we talk about that? Tiger's getting 100 million.
I mean, it's swoosh spotlights, right? So, briefly, we'll hit on it that PGA Tour is investing, the $3 billion into it or whatever it is, and there'll be equity stakes from players. Tiger to rumored and tweeted to get about 100 million in it. Rory 50, JT 30, Spieth 30, something like that. So
makes sense why those guys were loyal. Makes sense now, right?
Exactly. So,
so this is my thing about that conspiracy theory, or what I think would be hilarious, because they get paid out in equity after like 4 or 5 years or 8 years, whatever it is, right?
Yeah, it's something.
So this would be hilarious to me. They get their equity and then they sell it to live.
It's definitely like, I don't know how many times
what is going on. We don't know what's going on. We need everybody to come back together. We're just going to get it 4 times a year.
To the majors.
Yes.
Did you see the rumor? I saw a rumor that this is going to become NFC versus AFC. Like, they're going to do some crossover, like, events and stuff with, like, some like WGC style, like, because we got rid of WGCs, right? With Live and PGA guys, top members. But then PGA is going to play their schedule, Liv's going to play their schedule, and then you'll meet in the majors and the WGCs and do like AFC versus NFC and stuff like that. And so you still like have your 2 different styles and your tours, but like different. And I
watch them put it on pay-per-view.
Yeah, I can get on board with that a little bit.
That's what everything's
at the same time. I need more than just 4 events where the top players are playing together, like, so I don't know. All right. This is what I was going to talk about beforehand. Where are we with Nike Golf? How we feel about it, seeing it win right now. Because Scotty has won a lot. Nelly has won a lot. Rory wins. We've had Tommy be up there. We've had a lot of eyes on the swoosh. And lately I've been feeling that this feels very much like the summer of 2018. The summer of 2018, we went with a Patrick Reed wearing the swoosh at the Masters. We went with Brooks at the PGA, Brooks at the U.S. Open, we went with Francesco Molinari at the Open. That summer was the summer of Nike Golf. I made a great little graphic here that was used in some of their promotions from Nike Golf, reps, and put it out there. And that was truly the summer of Nike Golf. We were on top of the world. Tiger was charging, by the way, in those.
Yes, he was.
Two of them, and then one later that year, and then won the Masters in 19. So that was a stretch.
We held them all. Yeah,
we held them on for five. Nike held them on. So, how do we feel right now with all of this talk that Nike is done, blah, 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 but we are still on top of the world? Like, how are we feeling about that? Because it very much feels like the best players are in the best gear and they're winning.
Absolutely. I even commented about that when, shout out to Golf Digest, they posted something on that world number one with, the wins that they have right now. And then they're showing their stats of like the driving and everything, not earnings or anything like that, but driving accuracy, how many wins, how many seconds, how many thirds, like that. And I was the first person to comment on it. I'm like, you forgot the stat that they're both wearing the swoosh. And if you go to that post, it has like 700 likes on it. I'm like, what the hell? So there are people out there that love the swoosh still. And there always will be, and will always be, around for the time coming with our number one players wearing the swoosh. Like, we know how to pick the right players. Scotty kind of came out of nowhere. Nelly, we kind of knew that she was going to be,
and they pursued her. They pursued her to get her.
Yeah, absolutely.
From Jay Lindenberg. Thank goodness.
Let's even look at the 15-year-old on the Corn Ferry Tour making a cut. Young kids aren't always wearing the swoosh. They got that kid in swoosh already as a 15-year-old. And TaylorMade. I mean, we can also talk that TaylorMade is on top of the world as well, but just from an apparel standpoint, Nike is hitting it. People are wearing the shoes, even if they're not like right. That was the thing about when we got out of hard goods, that you could wear the shoes more, right? We talk about live guys wearing a lot more Nike, because they're wearing them on their feet. Like, it is still relevant.
Right.
And I know there are so many up and coming brands. There's so many people trying to do things. There's Lululemon, there's Grayson, there's blah, blah,
but nobody's
blah,
doing
blah,
footwear.
Blah. But like, we are still the top. Like, I don't know. We're the top when it matters, I should say that, right? Like, yes, the Nick Hardys of the world will win a small little, but when it comes to majors and big event players, Palmer, Masters, that's Scotty.
Yeah.
Porta on the other side, winning 5 in a row and a major. I don't know. I just has that feeling that we're building something really cool for 2024.
Yeah, and I know we've got some pushback and some negativity because of Tiger leaving and everything, but still, we still have our number one people wearing our stuff, and it's great. And it's there. It's there on Sunday afternoon. TV coverage is following them 24/7. They're showing their footwear. They're showing their, everything. The polos that they're wearing. It's all out there in the open. And yeah, we're always going to have haters and stuff that are going to go against because of Tiger leaving and whatnot. And it's just, it is what it is. But we have the 2 number one players in the world right now, and it's not the first time that this has happened. It just hasn't. We've always been up top.
So I see Matt's wheels spinning because
he's listening to me ramble. That's why.
I think I know what Matt's going to say, because Matt has been the voice of business, I would say, in our podcast, because Matt is a very
absolutely
established businessman. And I think he's going to say, but what does it matter? Like, what does it provide us slightly? Because Nike is like, they're still not invested in golf, right? Like, yes, for us, in a sense, yes, for us, the fanboys, and I hate using that word because I don't think we are. I just think we are loyalists.
Loyal.
Yeah, and
Or as Jordan Rogers would say, psychos.
yeah, but like
I call
for
myself
us,
that
I
all the
think it
time.
matters, and I think it makes the people that want to be with Nike feel good about being with Nike. But I don't know. I think Matt tends to not. I'm not putting this all on you, Matt. I just saying like I
Matt
think
brings
we
up
also
that
tend to try and
counter.
play devil's advocate to figure out like how we are all like so we don't get our heads like too blown up and everything like that. And so kind of like Matt, what are your thoughts on this? Because I think you feel that this is similar and that it's cool, but I feel like you also think that like there's probably like there's not much financials in a sense to it, you know, or business strife.
I think it's an interesting climate that we're in. So I would say, like, there's people that have been getting laid off at Nike, big news, right? And we know people that have been affected, and we knew people that were affected at the last round, right? And that stuff, and just overall, like, Nike health, everybody thinks, like, oh, like, Nike's down. But Nike Golf, actually, like, I get encouraged not just by the fact that Scotty's winning, I get encouraged by the fact that not only when Nelly's winning, all of a sudden Nike's actually posting on the big Nike account. Like like granted, like we've beaten them a couple times to it, but they still got something ready, and they got something, and they get something out there. And in the app, like the Endless Pursuit stuff is still up there. By the way, if you guys want Mother's Day sale on some of the Endless Pursuit stuff right now, so feel free to take advantage. So I think even though we know people that have, you know, moved on for different reasons, right? Big Nike is actually invested in golf. And I think, you know, what I want to know is like, how long will that last, right? Because obviously I think what happened is they've probably taken notice. They've got data from the app. They've got to have it, right? Like X amount of people are looking for golf shoes, X amount of golf sales. Look, like why else would they sell Jordan AG5 is coming in wide. The Augusta, the first major release, we actually got limited editions in wide. Right. Which means that they're making more. So if they're making more, they're probably saying people are into this. People really want this. Like we were discouraged last year because the PGA stuff didn't come out. But let's be fair. How many of us are like, well, we love that Brooks won, but how many of us are like we're really pumped about that PGA?
No, that was the word. That was, and worst is a hard word, but that was the least favorite of the four.
Correct.
You know, like kind of thing. So
little disappointment that we didn't get the next percent. So yeah, I just to round out my thoughts on that is I'm encouraged that Nike is investing in golf. They are showing off golf, right? You know, what does it mean? I don't know, because I think golf itself is shrinking back down again. I think people are, you know, little tight for cash, so they're not buying new clubs. They're maybe not buying their fourth or fifth pair of shoes. Now, like we've also kind of flooded the market the last 3 years, like golf club companies and shoe companies and apparel companies alike. And the thing I always remind myself, and I've worked for, you know, I've worked for some pretty strong brands in their industries. And the thing I always have to remind myself is like, whenever we see like an upstart coming up and they might have a cool campaign and they might have a cool product and you might say, shit, I wish we had that, or I wish we did that, or that's cool. At the end of the day, most of them would trade spots in a heartbeat with Nike. Yeah. Right. Like, let's not get it twisted, right? The Hokas and the Ons of the world, are they gaining market share and making noise? Yes. Would they rather be selling Pegasus and all that stuff and Invincible runs? Yes, they would. Absolutely, they would. Now, the thing I think about now is when you guys say like, man, we really scouted well, right? They signed Scotty Young. They went out and they got Nelly, right? They made the deal with Nelly, like, hey, you can keep the visor logo. We'll take the rest of the apparel and stuff like that. And it's actually kind of working, right? Because in the past we would have never had that. We always had to have everybody head to toe. So it's worked out in that sense. But you know, what does the pipeline look like? I know you said we got the junior, the guy that lit up the Corn Ferry Tour at 15. I mean, that's just absolutely crazy. That's how you get, you know, I worked at Wilson. So like the story is like, man, everybody kept asking like, how did you guys luck into having Pete Sampras, and he won all the majors, and then followed up by Roger Federer, who won all those majors. And part of the thing was Wilson always had a very strong junior program. So the thing that worries me, because that's what Roger says, I grew up playing Pete's racket. So I came up, and when he was up, he was using Pete's racket. I don't know that we have that kind of junior program. Like
we have junior,
reps.
They have like, junior camps, and then they have what they do at Sage Valley for the junior invitational. So it's like they are in the junior game more than I see other people being in the junior game for purposes, right? Like Hallie Ledbetter is at the Junior Invitational at Sage Valley the week before, 2 weeks before Augusta, and like they have the truck there. They had the them making their own shoes and making their own apparel there, stuff like that. So they are a presence in those environments, which I think is huge for the future. But I agree. We've debated on this show a bunch. Who's next to wear the swoosh, right? Like we have Tony, Tommy, Rory, Scotty, like
still have a ton of players.
If one of those guys leaves, like who is the next to like get into the swoosh? I thought it would be Minwoo for a while. You know what I mean? We still have Tom Kim, kind of the same person, it feels like right now. Obviously that's a gross generality of just personalities, nothing else. And so, I think there's just like, I don't know, but I don't think golf knows.
Can I share a behind the scenes rumor? Yeah. This is just a rumor. And I'd love when we have Jordan Rogers back on, like I got to ask him this because I've heard from very reliable sources that they were in it for Minwoo.
Yeah.
Despite people saying like, oh, they're getting out of it, da-da-da. And we have a good friend of the program who listens all the time. He's like, dude, I'm showing Nike stuff years from now. They're not getting out of golf. They're still golf product. And why would we sign Nelly and Tom Kim if we were getting out of golf, right? Like, it just shows that people don't really like understand, like just small business, like not small decisions because they impact people's lives. But, sorry, I'm doing the Donald Trump with my arms right now. Sorry, I'm doing that. I'm saying like people don't understand business. Sorry. Not going there. But yeah. Again, I threw myself off. I just can't. I'm sorry. It's late, guys. But, I wonder sometimes if some of these guys going to the smaller brand would rather go to the small brand and be the face of it. And not like Lululemon's a small brand, right? But Minwoo goes there. He gets to be the guy. He is in all of their advertising. He's in the stores. Like, it's Minwoo Lee. He doesn't have to share the spotlight with Rory, Tommy, Tony, Scotty, Nelly, right? Like, okay, I show up, I'm a badass. I'm probably next gen, but I still got 5 guys I got to compete with for and Brooks. Sorry, six people I got to compete with for spotlight time. So that's the thing. It's tough, right? And then if there's a super dominant, you got to kind of steal them away, or you get lucky, right? Like for every Scotty, there's a Cam Champ right now.
Yeah. I just feel that it's like in the case of Minwoo, they're really pushing the chef and they're really trying to push him this year. And I think he's lost that swagger a little bit. It feels like this year. And I don't know if it's because of Lulu or not, but it feels like swag would have been on 1,000 with Nike, and with Lulu, it's very much like it's just plain Jane. They're not doing anything cool. He's in pants and black.
At the end of the day, I hate to rag on the competition. I'm not that kind of guy. Yeah. But at the end of the day, it is a mom yoga pant brand.
Yeah, I mean, and it's cool. And I know like we follow Jordan, and Jordan has his opinions on a lot of, and he's in a lot of things, right? Like he has a lot of new brands coming after him, and he likes it, and I can respect that. But that is like what Minwoo was building has sort of been, in my eyes, taken away. And others can disagree with that, but maybe it's just because his play hasn't been like also up to par this year.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. If he had won the Masters, this is probably a different conversation, right? So
sure. Yeah. But I think it just feels like you go there, you lost some, and now you're trying to do more with like all these chefs showing up at Phoenix, like. See,
but that stuff, that's what makes me think. That's what makes me think that's how they signed him, because they probably said, "Hey, we're gonna do this." Like, could right? Like Nike wouldn't have the resources or the time to like just dedicate to that one athlete to do that kind of activation. Yeah. So that's why I think I'm like, oh, maybe he made the decision. Like, I'm gonna go here instead, because I think the days too, and maybe this is like the Tiger effect. maybe Nike to some of these other cats, like they feel like they're just lost in the cog and that it doesn't help them out in the long run. And they don't realize that there are Nike fans, Nike golf fans that will worship you forever because you wore the swoosh.
I'm still to this day fan. Like I like Malbon, whatever, but
hell yeah.
But like I still am a fan of him. I'm still a fan of like I love seeing Lucas Glover do something because he wore that for a long time.
I got to meet Lucas in August.
Charles was still around. Like you would still be like, okay, what are you doing, Charles? You know what I mean? Like there are still people out there that used to wear it that I'm like,
Keith with David Duvall.
You know who do I? Yeah. Kyle Stanley, big one. Like who's the other one that wore it for a long time?
Kevin Chappell.
Oh, Kevin Chappell is my guy.
Yeah.
Because I won the Chappie Christmas thing and got $500 from him to Nike on his account. Thank you, Chappie. But B, flat brim Chappell, right? Like he was wearing a flat brim too. Like, right? Like it's just those guys will forever live AK in the brains of us.
Yes.
Uninhibited for 2 decades now.
Russell Henley.
Yeah, Russell.
Russell won in Sony in Hawaii, 3 years in a row or something like that. Like we can pull these things because that's what they like attach to us. And so I think you want to go try and do your own thing and be your own thing, and sometimes being the cog in the big machine. Charles Barkley said it best when like him and Jordan were talking about stuff. It's like Jordan was asked, like, why would you go somewhere else when you can have this and have stock in Nike? Like, get stock, get the money, whatever, and like be with Nike. You know, like it's
look at some of the guys from that era that went did their own thing, like Patrick Ewing. Like nobody remembers it. Like they release that once every 20 years when somebody buys the rights to that shoe. It's like. Right, but like you would have been loved, like not as loved as like look at Alonzo Mourning. Everybody loves Alonzo Mourning, Nike guy, right? Like there's something to it for sure. Like that brand, and it's in the long run, right? Like at the end of the day, it doesn't put a check in your bank account. And I think a lot of athletes they view their careers as very short, so they view it very transactional, right? Like maybe I won't take less from Nike. I'm gonna get my payday now from a Linksole, from a Straight Down, from a whoever, right? Like. So I kind of don't blame them when they do that, but I think in the long run, to your point, like Nike has so many like loyal fans. Like who else? Like if another brand exited golf, right, as Nike was rumored to do, like, I'm sorry, I don't even think Adidas stands would be blowing up GolfWorks, saying, "Oh no, they're getting rid of the 360 and the Samba and the Chaos," right? Like, it wouldn't happen. Like there's a passionate fan base because. Again, a lot of us came from other sports too. That's the other thing. A lot of us came from other sports where Nike was the thing. And, that's why I see like I think like soccer players are the ones when they become golfers, terrible hand-eye coordination, by the way. Yeah, I said it. Hi, Ronnie, my buddy. But, they come from soccer and they might show up in Adidas and wear whatever, right? But usually the athletes of like basketball, hockey gravitate towards Nike. Baseball players gravitate towards Nike. Griffey, Swinger, right? So. I know we wanted a 30-minute episode. Great last topic, Gumby. This was on you this time.
No, this was on me. This was so. If you guys liked everything we talked about in our Swoosh Spotlights episode today, remember to become a supporter of the podcast by going to patreon.com/the Swoosh Life Podcast. And remember to like, comment, subscribe on YouTube, and follow us on Instagram at the Swoosh Life Podcast. Stay up to date on all things swoosh. I need to start putting this at the beginning of the episode. I forgot about that. This one, but hopefully you guys are enjoying what we're doing, watching us on YouTube, listening to us anywhere you can find your podcast. This was a fun one, boys. Any final words?
I just want to say thanks to everybody that reached out for apparel, which is going great. So thank you everybody who has paid everything. It's just our first run at the mill at this. Sweatshirts that everybody bought have been printed. They will be mailed this week if anybody's listening out there. So just want to say thank you. It all goes back to you guys, just putting our name out there. Thank you. Matt, what do you got?
Nope, that was well said. And the hoodies are sick.
Yeah, I think we all bought some on our own too. So
my order of 20.
looking forward to it. I don't know when the next episode's going to be. We might be on a little bit of a every other, maybe next week. We got to line up some people.
We got a lot of PGA pros that we got to get in before the PGA. So I think we might do an episode a week.
Going bang, bang, bang.
Yeah.
So stay tuned. Rocking with us. We're rocking with you guys. And
Danny, Barry, Carlos, get ready.
Yeah. Until the next time.
Should we do a round table?
Oh, we could do a round table. I like doing a round table.
Done deal. Group chat inbound, Danny, if you're listening.
Yeah. Look out for my scripting for league nights on the Swoosh Life account and mine. And for Keith, Matt, and Gumby, it's been the Swoosh Life Podcast. See you in the next one. Bye. Make sure you follow us at the Swoosh Life Podcast on Instagram and TikTok. And support us by going to patreon.com/Swoosh Life Podcast or at podcasters.spotify.com. And make sure you're watching us on YouTube. Subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Swoosh Life Podcast. And always listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and more. Swoosh Life Podcast.
Checks over stripes, yeah, that's what I like. Yeah, that's what we like. Yeah.